Hey guys, I am Dr. Deepak Garg and today we will discuss veins of the upper limb. There are two main venous systems in the body, superficial venous system and the deep venous system. Superficial means they are superficial to the superficial fascia, and the deep means that they are deep to the superficial fascia. They usually accompany the arteries. So we will discuss them mainly and we will discuss about the arteries of the upper limb in the next video. So we start with the superficial veins of the upper limb. So because the main functions of the vein is to take the blood back to the heart, so we start from the distal and we will go to the proximal, and in the distal aspect we start from the dorsal aspect of the digits. So dorsal aspects of the digits is mainly drained by the dorsal digital veins. They join to form the dorsal metacarpal veins, which ultimately drain into the venous network on the dorsal aspect of the hand called dorsal venous network. Similarly, we talk about the palmar aspect of the digits. They are drained by the palmar digital veins, and then they drain into the dorsal digital veins via small oblique veins called intercapitular veins. Similarly, when we talk about the dorsal venous network, they are mainly draining into the two veins, cephalic vein and the basilic vein. On the lateral aspect they are draining into the cephalic, and on the medial they are draining into the basilic vein. So we can see that on the lateral aspect there is a cephalic vein, and on the medial aspect there is a basilic vein. They are draining mainly. So cephalic vein will from the dorsal aspect will take a turn anteriorly and will enter the cubital fossa. Similarly, the basilic vein on the dorsal aspect will take a turn from the dorsal while coming to the proximal aspect of the forearm, and will come anteriorly and will enter the cubital fossa. That we can see here. It is from the posterior aspect is coming anteriorly and entering the cubital fossa. Similarly, the cephalic vein is coming from the posteriorly and entering the anterior aspect and entering to the cubital fossa. So, and we talk about the palm, the anterior aspect of the palm, so mainly drained by the venous network called palmar venous network. They are drained by the network of the veins anteriorly in the forearm, mainly by the median antebrachial vein. We can see here there may be many anatomical variations in this. The medial antebrachial vein is draining into the cephalic and the basilic mainly via two veins. So the one draining into the cephalic vein is called median cephalic vein, and the one draining into the basilic vein is called the median basilic vein. So sometimes there is a direct connection between the cephalic and the basilic vein. It is called the median cubital vein. So this is a dissection diagram. We can see here this is a median antebrachial vein draining into the basilic via median basilic vein and into the cephalic via median cephalic vein. So when we talk about the cephalic vein, it runs laterally upward from the cubital fossa. It passes through the deltopectoral groove. It pierces the clavipectoral fascia and ultimately drain into the axillary vein. Similarly, the basilic vein will run medially upward from the cubital fossa. It will enter the deep fascia of the arm and drain into the brachial vein, then ultimately join the axillary vein. We can see here from the diagram that this is the basilic vein and have entered the deep fascia of the arm and is draining into the brachial vein, then ultimately they are going to the axillary vein. Then we talk about the deep venous system. They usually accompany the arteries, so we will talk about them mainly when we talk about the arteries. So deep venous system, they have mainly in the hand they have superficial venous arches and the deep venous arches. They drain into the radial vein and the ulnar vein, and then both the veins they drain into the brachial vein, then they join the axillary vein, then the axillary vein become the subclavian, internal jugular, and then to the brachiocephalic vein. This was about the veins of the upper limb. Next video we will talk about the arteries of the upper limb. Thank you guys. Thank you very much.